Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, here in Modona. Our new hub town, and basically the hub town for the Heavensward endgame. Not Heavensward, Realm Reborn endgame. And let's first take this one now. Simply to die for. Well, if it isn't Desiree, just the adventure I was hoping to see. My name gets around, apparently. Do you know of a blacksmith, XIV? He's quite an accomplished craftsman. In fact, anyone who had dealings with Rowena is sure to have come across his creations. It's always been a pleasure to have him as a regular here at the Seven Heavens. But he's been quite irate of late and practically drowning in his cups besides. I fear his recent work, or perhaps lack thereof, may have something to do with it. This may seem but a trifling matter to someone as traveled as yourself, but it would mean so much to me if you would speak with him. I can think of no one better to offer him a word or free of encouragement. That is over here. This is the entrance to Rowena's House of Splendors. And here is XIV. Can I say I'm thinking less off of you? Alice sent you, did she? And I suppose she just happened to mention me contract with Rowena. I thought she'd be satisfied with me vintage gear. There was a time it practically flew off the shelves, bringing adventurers with tombstones by the bucket, but now... You damn divas are a fickle lot, and apparently none of you will be caught dead in mere stuff no more. Now I've got Rowena's jumping down my throat, clamoring for somewhat new, somewhat the realm ain't here to foreseen. Woman expects too bloody much, I tell you, but if I don't fill my contract, she'll have fucks fitting me feet for lead boots. If only I pissed out bright ideas each dawn like I did my ale. Hold your earthbuds, I know you from somewhere. You're one of them adventurers what started the bloody relic armor movement back then, ain't you? As I live and breathe. Try as I might, and holy hell did I try, I wasn't able to recreate the masterworks. There was something about them, a certain quality even the great XIV weren't going to match. I suppose one never truly can rival the classics, huh? Ah, Alice, you sly shrew. That's why you sent this one. You wanted her to remind me of the old days when armorcraft was about the armor, not else. Somewhere along the way, I reckon I got caught up in the hurly-burly and lost my way. You know, I reckon it's high time I got back to the basics. Focus more on who'll be wearing me gear than the pretty tale that me caught is selling me the parts. Might be then I come up with somewhat what'll satisfy old Rowena. Cheers, lass. It was kind of you to stop by. And while you're here, how about I fix up your own set of relic gear? My assistant, Kakalan, here can augment each and every piece. Cause that's assuming you can bring him the proper parts. I ain't running a charity, don't go forgetting your gear neither. You may now trade with Kakalan. After obtaining the appropriate augmentation item, you can exchange it along with the artifact armor for augmented artifact armor, which, unlike regular relic gear, can be dyed any color of your choice. Please note that the augmentation item required will vary depending on the artifact armor you wish to exchange. Dementors. That is him here. We have the artifact armor. You can upgrade the items you got at level 45 or 50 to a better version of the equipment. Here. Is it actually better? Not really, but it is dyeable. That is the nice thing here. And here you can get vintage armor for the antique tokens you can get in some of the level 50 dungeons. Though, this is the set you get for the level 50 job quest, so unless you want to get it again, you don't really need these anymore. That is old gear. Or you want it for the challenge, which is also possible. Anyway, after that little distraction out of the way. Oh, and the augmentation items you can make, I believe with an alchemist, it's under mastery items 1, mastery recipes 1 for an alchemist then. But I have not unlocked that yet. That is here from Talan. You can get the recipe books. Okay. As I said, on with the main plot. Well met, friend. What brings you to Revenant's Toll? A rescue operation? I hear you rightly. Your friends are being held captive in Castrum Centri, and you want to rescue them? I don't mean to discourage you, but that might prove difficult. The Stronghold has been on high alert of late, with armored patrols seen about the perimeter around the clock. Not even a fly could get within 100 yards of the walls undetected. If the Guardians were alerted to our coming, we cannot know what they will do to Menphilia and the others. We must act with the greatest stealth. Aye, it got to be a good old-fashioned infiltration. But with security so tight, how are we going to smuggle ourselves in? Why, I have a mind to walk through the front door. Huh? The front door? Aye, we disguise ourselves as Guardian troops and march right in. For this, we need a few sets of Imperial uniforms, a suit of magic armor, and impeccable timing. Ha! A bold strategy, but it might just work. Where we are, there is certainly no shortage of opportunity to borrow the equipment. Knowing those Imperial bastards, I don't even suspect that we savage Eorzeans would think to use their technology. Then it's settled. If you're determined to go ahead with this, I recommend you speak with Glormund. The fellow's got a personal grudge against the Empire and happens to know a deal about Castrum Centri besides. I have no doubt he'd want to be of aid. Ida and I shall go to reconnoiter Guardian activity at the Stronghold. It would not do if something were to befall our comrades before we had the chance to act. Come and join us when you're ready. Let's do this. I wonder sometimes, Ida, are there ever times you're not enthused? I'm nothing if not enthused, Stoller, and you're beginning to remind me of Papa Limo. And Glomot is this fellow over here. Looking for Glomot, are you? Well, you found him, whoever you are. Huh? You're looking to get inside Castrum Centri and you need my help? Something tells me we're going to get along just fine. So, your friends at Castrum Centri would want for rescue, but Slavborn knows me too well. Aye, you can count on my help. I've got a score to settle with the Imperials, and I never pass on an opportunity to get back at the Horsons. But enough about me, let's talk strategy. Rescuing folk from captivity is right delicate business. Single oversight, just one little blunder, and it's all over. You can't leave any room for uncertainty. For starters, you need to confirm beyond a shadow of a doubt that your friends are where you think they are. You don't want to risk your neck only to discover if you moved elsewhere. But how can you find out, you ask? By following these instructions. If you approach Centri from the east, you see a swampland to your left called the Tangle. Get in there, never mind all the moorballs, and navigate your way to the southwestern corner. You'll come upon some drainage pipes coming down from the strongholds. Don't ask me how I know, but one of them leads back up to the command tower. If you listen closely, might be as you can eavesdrop on some of the happenings within. Once we know for certain your friends are there, we'll move to the next stage of the operation. Now get going and Godspeed. Stupid frogs! first get used again to this class. Toadskins. I will not get past you without pulling, so let's pull. Experience and all that. Okay, and here's the tangle. Past all the morbals, hopefully. Crap. That was hers. A faint sound of conversation echoes down the pipe. What are the captives? Does she still refuse to speak? She may as well be deaf-mute for all the information we've gotten out of her. The others aren't much better. The adolescent gets on my nerve most of all. Every time he opens his mouth, it's only to spout gibberish. I wonder, why is this tribunus so obsessed with this Minfilia woman? They say she possesses some mythical power. Something we Gallians don't have. Mythical power? Like the kind of beastmen use? How am I supposed to bloody know? If you're so curious, why don't you ask the tribunus yourself? As well try to tumble her. I like my hat where it is, thank you very much. Break is over. Let's best get to work. Seems very well. Back to town. Hey, Biggs and Wedge are also here. Dressing up as soldiers and sneaking in the front door, huh? Well, if you got the guts to go through with it, then so do I. Oh boy, I always wanted my own Reaper. I would wash her and wax her and name her and... Tis good to see you again, Desiree. I'm given to understand you have conducted some reconnaissance. Tell me, what were you able to learn? So Minfilia and the others are indeed at Castrum Centri. Their presence was confirmed, we may proceed with our mission. While you were afield, Sid took the liberty of devising a plan of action. Probably have the details from him. Good work, Desiree. As Avenos already told you, we've plotted out a course of our rescue. The gist of it is unchanged. We disguise ourselves as Imperial soldiers and infiltrate the stronghold. Glommet is looking into ways to procure a suit of Magitech armor. In the meantime, I need your assistance for some preparation of my own. Minfilia and the others are counting on us, Desiree. Let's not keep them waiting any longer than necessary. While Glommet goes about devising his plan, we need to see to some preparations of our own. It wouldn't do if the Imperials were to discover that they are short in armor. To prevent this from happening, I'm going to put together a makeshift communications jamming device. The explanation is like to get a bit technical, so bear with me. Imperial forces communicate at a distance via electromagnetic waves. Simply put, voices are born upon etheric lightning energy that permeates the air. We have a radio. Now, the hill-sized cluster of corrupted crystals to the west has been observed to amplify the self-same energy. By making use of this property, we should be able to drown out Imperial voices. To ensure we have enough amplification, we must identify the most potent crystals among the cluster. For this, I need you to go there and use this device to take readings. I'll mark the likely places on your map. Oh, and just so you know, plasmoids are drawn to lightning energy. Don't be surprised if you run into a few. And Glaumund has another quest. Clean the wax out your ears now, cause there's something I wanted you to do by way of preparation. The plan's to have you enter Castrum Centri all decked out in Imperial duds. But a disguise is more than just clothes you're wearing. You gotta act the part. At the very least, you need to know how to perform a convincing Imperial salute. First impressions are everything, as they say. I could teach you the salute myself, of course, but it's best you learned it from the experts. So get yourself near as you dare to Castrum Centri and watch the Imperials do what they do. Huh. Dang it. Okay, one of them was up here, I know that. Because last time I looked like crazy where that stupid thing is. Two. 3. Come on. Let's try this again. Plasmoids. And now, close to Castrum Centri. Okay, now watch. Nothing to report, sir. We have received an anonymous warning that insurgent forces are near. We must redouble our vigilance. I shall recommend that patrols be increased. Like this, okay. You have the readings? Excellent. Here, let me see the numbers. Yes, 4 of these crystals should suit our purpose, though I pray that we won't have need of their power. My thanks, Desiree. So, did you manage to learn the Imperial Salute? No, best not demonstrate. I'm liable to fly into a rage and crack skulls. I'll just take your word for it. You have learned the emote Imperial Salute. Now this little friend here, Sark Malak. You're called Desiree Klingor, yes? I've heard of your plight from my friend Glomund. As a fellow adventurer and son of a Yaozier both, I would offer you my assistance. In order to infiltrate Castrum Centri, you and your comrades must disguise yourself as Imperial soldiers. The question is how to go about acquiring the uniforms and helms. There are places a man might purchase them, but individuals who deal in such wares are not the sort to whom you would entrust your secrets. It would be more prudent, I believe, to procure what you need via the traditional means, from the bodies of our recently deceased owners. The fortified area before Castrum Centri never lacks for Imperial patrols. It ought not to take long to obtain 3 sets of gear, 1 for each member of the infiltration team. Biggs, Wedge, and yourself. When you have what you need, please return here and allow me to inspect the spoils. And back to the Castrum. Okay, I probably just cut you out for this because it's literally just going there and kill some soldiers and come back. And yeah, a little bit, these Gallian soldiers can drop these legendary visors. So if you like such a mask, you can farm them from the soldiers. Also, they are necessary for a recipe. With a goldsmith, where is it? Yeah, the rose gold circlet. Just get a circlet with it, with a mask. Pretty cool. Anyway, Sark. Are you able to obtain 3 sets of Imperial equipment? I was. They're probably broken. Damaged, as I had suspected. In the present condition, I fear these uniforms and helms are like to draw suspicion. They must be repaired, if only superficially. Fortunately, I have some skilled artisans among my acquaintances. Please take the uniforms to the Weaver's Guild in Ulda and the helms to the Armorer's Guild in Salominsa. I will send word so that both places know to expect you. Rest assured, your mission will be kept in the utmost confidence. Ah, you must be the adventurer Desiree Klingor. Welcome, welcome. My lord, Sark Malak, sent word that you would be along. So, what garments are these that require attention? These Imperial uniforms. Oh my. Well, I'm certain you have your reasons, and I shan't question them. Nor do you need your fear that I will spread gossip. My lord Sark Malak is one of our very best clients, though these days I'm told he spends more time roaming the lands as an adventurer. Far be it from me to question my lord's tastes, but I struggle to understand why a man of his fabulous wealth would forsake the comforts of his estate for a life of danger and hardship. So he's wealthy. And the repairs are done. I was instructed to prioritize swiftness, and so I did. While I can't vouch for the protective capacity of the garments, they certainly look the part, if I do say so myself. Payment? Never mind. You mind that. Sending my regards to my lord, Sakmalak, will be payment enough. Wealthy and apparently quite influential with certain people. Okay, and to the Armorer's Guild in Limsa. Here to the left is Guildmaster Nanza, to whom we have to talk. Desiree Klinghoff, I've been expecting you. Sakmalak gives me to understand you come on his behalf with unusual helms. Yes, very unusual indeed, though no more outlandish in order than I have come to expect from a merchant prince turned adventurer. Merchant prince, huh? Your awkward staring tells me I said something improper. Oh, Sark did not mention his background to you? Well, that was likely his intent, but I suppose there's no help for it now but to tell you the whole story. Sakmalak is the son of a successful Uldan merchant. Though still tender in years, he has an eye for profit and has made millions in his own right. Having achieved thus, he turned his attention toward his true passion, adventuring, and left the management of his fortune to trusted aides. The helms are ready. With a little more, I could have achieved a far higher quality finish, but I was given to understand that you have in some haste. We should serve your needs well enough. Lest you wonder about payment, Sakmalak has already settled the bill. Do pass along my regards when next you see him. Have you had the uniforms and helms prepared? Yes, these will serve beautifully. Both Edelwin and Nansa never failed to impress. The qualities of these repairs would fool even a legatus. Thus equipped, you should not have any trouble blending in amongst the Imperial forces. Lest you fear that the Gallians might detect your foreignness. Foreigners, in fact, form the greater part of a Gallian invasion force in Eorzea. You see, when the Empire subjugates new territory, it assimilates the people of that land into its armed forces. In turn, these conscripted forces are sent to subjugate faraway lands. In this way, Garlemald nips rebellion in the bud and expands its territory in one fell stroke. With that, my part in your mission is done. I'm full glad to have been of assistance to your cause. Why would I, a wealthy merchant, wish to help you? I know not where you heard such a tale, but believe me when I say that I'm but another humble adventurer, one who desires only to act in the best interests of the realm. Okay, but I think I end this episode here and we deal with Magitech armor we need to acquire next time. Until then, I am Mace and don't get lost.